Lady Gaga, the sensational pop icon we all know and love, took a step beyond the stage lights in June 2016. She made headlines when she met none other than His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. Just imagine it, the dazzling world of pop culture meeting the profound wisdom of Tibetan Buddhism, all coming together in Indianapolis at the 84th U.S. Conference of Mayors. What could these two seemingly different souls talk about? It turns out, they spoke about something that touches every one of us: compassion, mental health, and how we can all find a way to foster greater well-being in society. Click subscribe channel button to connect with stories of resilience, compassion, and human strength. This encounter was truly a powerful reminder that even the glitziest stars are human too, that beneath the fame, there's a beating heart that cares deeply for the world. Lady Gaga, in her ever brave and passionate way, has always used her voice for more than just music. She's always stood up for what she believes in, particularly when it comes to mental health. On the other hand, the Dalai Lama, a beacon of serenity, has spent his life advocating for peace and compassion. It was a convergence of two worlds, a coming together of celebrity and spirituality, to remind us all of the simple truth: we need to take better care of each other and ourselves, setting the stage for change. The U.S. Conference of Mayors is not just any gathering, it's where leaders come together to find real solutions to real problems affecting their cities. In 2016, this gathering emphasized peace, compassion, and understanding, the perfect setting for a man like the Dalai Lama, who embodies those very principles. Imagine the room filled with mayors, decision-makers, and the hum of anticipation, as two unlikely allies, Lady Gaga and the Dalai Lama, stepped onto the stage to have an open conversation about the human experience. Lady Gaga was already a fierce mental health advocate. She had spoken publicly about her own struggles, sharing her battle with depression and PTSD. Think about the courage that takes to stand in front of the world and admit that. Despite all the glitz and glamour, she too has felt broken. It's this vulnerability that makes her not just a star but a genuine light in the lives of many. Her foundation, the Born This Way Foundation, has always aimed to create a kinder, braver world, and meeting the Dalai Lama was about more than star power. It was about using her platform to amplify a message we all need to hear, a conversation of the heart. Their discussion, live-streamed for the world to see, lasted around 20 minutes, but what they said could resonate for a lifetime. They spoke about compassion as a tool, not just to heal society but to heal ourselves. Lady Gaga was open, raw, and real as she spoke about her experiences. She made it clear that it's okay to feel vulnerable, that there's strength in being honest about your pain. She talked about how crucial compassion is, not just for others, but for ourselves. Do we ever stop to truly forgive ourselves? Do we show ourselves the same kindness we extend to others? These are the kinds of questions Gaga put forward, and the Dalai Lama, in his gentle, wise way, echoed those sentiments. He reminded us that suffering is a part of the human experience. We all suffer, but it is our capacity for compassion that brings us closer, that binds us in our shared humanity. Imagine a world where everyone, no matter their background or beliefs, sought to understand and alleviate the suffering of others. It's almost utopian, but the Dalai Lama believed it is possible, one heart at a time. The transformative power of compassion. Lady Gaga talked about her own journey, how self-compassion had played a pivotal role in her healing. It's not easy to forgive yourself, to let go of past mistakes, or to face trauma head-on. But that's where true strength lies, in understanding, in being kind to oneself, and in moving forward with love. The Dalai Lama, true to his role as a teacher, spoke of active compassion, that compassion isn't just a feeling, it's an action. It's taking that extra moment to help someone in need, it's using your resources or influence for good, and it's the small acts of kindness that can ripple outwards. Creating a more caring world. Lady Gaga agreed wholeheartedly. She understood the weight of influence, that her voice could reach millions. But more than that, she emphasized that anyone, no matter who they are, can make a difference. That's the beauty of compassion. you don't need a stage, a following, or a title. You just need to care. The reaction and its implications. Of course, this meeting was met with both applause and backlash. Many celebrated Lady Gaga for her bravery, for being so open about her struggles, and for using her platform to advocate for mental health and compassion. Others, particularly in China, reacted differently. The Dalai Lama, seen as a political figure, brought with him the weight of controversy. Gaga's music was reportedly banned in China, and her association with him condemned. Yet, what's so powerful is that Lady Gaga didn't back down. She stayed true to her message, that compassion and mental well-being are worth more than political convenience. Isn't that what courage is all about? Standing firm in your truth, even when the world tries to push you down. Gaga showed us that advocating for what's right often comes with challenges, but those challenges are worth facing if they bring us closer to a more compassionate world, a moment that resonates beyond. This meeting was more than just a conversation, it was a bridge between two different worlds. A bridge for anyone struggling, and a reminder of the power of empathy. Lady Gaga brought the Dalai Lama's message to young people, to fans who might not otherwise hear it. And isn't that the beauty of life, that messages of hope and love can find us in the most unexpected places? The dialogue between Lady Gaga and the Dalai Lama was a call to action for all of us. It showed that mental health is not just an individual struggle but a collective one. We're all in this together, and by fostering a more compassionate society, we can lift each other up. Healing, whether it's personal or societal, begins with simple acts of care. One smile, one act of forgiveness, one moment of understanding, these are the seeds that grow into a world worth living in. A deeper dive, expanding the conversation, let's take a moment to reflect on what compassion really means in our lives. How often do we practice compassion, not just towards others, but towards ourselves? We live in a society that often glorifies strength, resilience, and independence. But what if we shifted the narrative to include kindness, vulnerability, and the courage to admit that we need help? That's what Lady Gaga did on that stage. She put her heart out there, showing that despite her success, she too struggles, and that's okay. It's this honesty that breaks down barriers between people, reminds us that no matter how different we might seem on the surface, we all face hardships. The Dalai Lama often speaks about the oneness of humanity. He reminds us that at our core, we all want the same things: happiness, connection, peace. Compassion is the glue that binds us together, and this isn't just a lofty ideal, it has real-world applications. Compassion can be integrated into our schools, our workplaces, and our communities. Imagine workplaces where employees are encouraged to understand each other's struggles, where kindness is rewarded as much as productivity. Imagine schools where children are taught to empathize, where mental well-being is as important as grades. These aren't impossible dreams, they are realities we can create, one compassionate act at a time. Lady Gaga's foundation, Born This Way, exemplifies this. It focuses on empowering young people to build a braver, kinder world. In her conversation with the Dalai Lama, she stressed the importance of not just talking about change, but actively creating it. She spoke about the power of youth, about their potential to change the world if they are given the right tools and support. Compassion isn't just a feeling, it's a practice, a choice we make every day. It's in how we treat the people around us, how we respond to challenges, and how we care for ourselves. Cultivating self-compassion, one of the most impactful parts of the conversation was the focus on self-compassion. In a world that often encourages us to be our harshest critics, the idea of treating ourselves with kindness can feel revolutionary. Lady Gaga opened up about her struggles with PTSD and the journey she took towards self-acceptance. She emphasized that healing starts with self-love, with giving ourselves permission to be imperfect, to struggle, and to still be worthy of love and compassion. The Dalai Lama agreed, pointing out that self-compassion is the foundation upon which we can build compassion for others. If we can't be kind to ourselves, How can we genuinely extend kindness to those around us? Self-compassion involves recognizing that everyone makes mistakes, everyone falls short sometimes. It's about understanding that our flaws and failures do not define us. Lady Gaga's message was clear: we need to stop punishing ourselves for being human. Instead, we need to embrace our vulnerabilities, to understand that they are part of what makes us beautiful. The Dalai Lama added that when we cultivate self-compassion, we are less likely to act out of fear or anger. Instead, we can approach the world with an open heart, ready to connect and understand. The ripple effect of compassion, the idea of compassion creating a ripple effect, was another powerful takeaway from their conversation. Every kind act, no matter how small, has the potential to create far-reaching impacts. The Dalai Lama spoke about how compassion is not limited by geography, culture, or religion. It is a universal human value that has the power to transcend differences and bring people together. Lady Gaga echoed this sentiment, sharing stories of how acts of kindness, whether it's a supportive message from a fan or a simple gesture from a stranger, had made a significant difference in her life. Imagine the kind of world we could create if we all committed to small acts of compassion each day. Imagine the kind of healing we could bring about if we approached one another with empathy, rather than judgment. This is not just about grand gestures, it's about the everyday choices we make. It's about how we treat the people we encounter, our friends, our families, even strangers on the street. The Dalai Lama reminded us that compassion is not a sign of weakness, but a true measure of strength. It takes courage to be kind, especially in the face of anger, pain, or fear. Lady Gaga also highlighted the responsibility that comes with influence. She spoke about how those in the public eye have a unique opportunity to promote messages of compassion and understanding. She acknowledged that her platform gave her a voice. But she also emphasized that everyone has influence in their own way. We all have the power to affect those around us, whether it's our friends, our co-workers, or our communities. The key is to use that influence for good, to uplift others rather than tear them down. Facing adversity with compassion, the public reaction to the meeting between Lady Gaga and the Dalai Lama was a reflection of the complexities of our world. While many praised the event as a courageous and positive step towards addressing mental health and promoting compassion, others saw it through a political lens. The Dalai Lama, a figure who has long been at the center of tensions between Tibet and China, brought with him the weight of these political issues. Lady Gaga's willingness to stand beside him and advocate for compassion, despite the potential consequences, was a testament to her dedication to these ideals. In China, her music was banned, and she faced backlash from those who viewed her association with the Dalai Lama as controversial. Yet, in the face of this adversity, Lady Gaga did not waver. She did not apologize for standing up for what she believed in. She reminded us that there are times when standing up for compassion and human dignity is more important than maintaining popularity or appeasing critics. Isn't that the kind of courage we need more of in the world? The courage to do what's right, even when it's not easy or convenient. The Dalai Lama, too, has faced adversity throughout his life. He has lived in exile for decades, yet he continues to preach a message of peace and compassion. He embodies resilience, showing us that even when we face challenges, we can respond with love rather than bitterness. His words, alongside Lady Gaga's, were a reminder that adversity can either harden our hearts or open them wider. The choice is ours. A vision for the future. The meeting between Lady Gaga and the Dalai Lama was not just about the present moment, it was about envisioning a future where compassion is at the core of our society. Imagine a world where leaders prioritize the well-being of their people, where policies are shaped by empathy, and where communities come together to support one another. This is the kind of world that Lady Gaga and the Dalai Lama were advocating for. A world where mental health is taken seriously, where people are not ashamed to ask for help, and where love and understanding guide our actions. The Dalai Lama spoke about the importance of education in cultivating compassion. He emphasized that children should be taught from a young age about the value of empathy, kindness, and interconnectedness. Lady Gaga agreed, pointing out that young people are the future, and if we can nurture these values in them, we can create lasting change. Their conversation was a call to educators, parents, and leaders to take responsibility for the kind of world we are shaping for future generations. Lady Gaga also highlighted the role of art and creativity in fostering compassion. She spoke about how music and art have the power to connect people, to break down barriers, and to express emotions that words sometimes cannot. Art, she said, is a universal language, one that can be used to spread messages of love and hope. The Dalai Lama, though not an artist himself, acknowledged the importance of creativity in bringing people together. He spoke of the beauty that comes from expressing our shared humanity through creative means, practical steps towards compassion. One of the most inspiring aspects of their conversation was the emphasis on practical steps that each of us can take to foster compassion in our lives. It's easy to talk about compassion in abstract terms, but what does it look like in our everyday lives? Lady Gaga and the Dalai Lama offered some valuable insights. First, they spoke about the importance of listening. Truly listening to others, not just hearing their words, but trying to understand their feelings and perspectives, is one of the most compassionate acts we can engage in. In our fast-paced world, we often rush through conversations, more focused on what we want to say next than on what the other person is sharing. But by taking the time to listen, we show that we value the other person, that their thoughts and feelings matter. Second, they talked about the power of forgiveness. The Dalai Lama spoke about how holding on to anger and resentment only harms ourselves. He reminded us that forgiveness is not about excusing harmful behavior, but about freeing ourselves from the burden of hatred. Lady Gaga echoed this, sharing her own experiences of learning to forgive, both herself and others. Forgiveness is an act of compassion that allows us to move forward, to heal, and to grow. Third, they discussed the importance of self-care. Compassion starts with how we treat ourselves. Lady Gaga emphasized that self-care is not selfish, it's necessary. Taking the time to rest, to nourish our bodies and minds, and to do things that bring us joy is crucial for our well-being. The Dalai Lama added that when we are kind to ourselves, we are better able to be kind to others. Self-care is the foundation upon which we build our capacity for compassion. The role of technology in spreading compassion. In today's world, technology plays a huge role in how we connect with one another. Lady Gaga and the Dalai Lama also touched on the potential of technology to spread compassion. Social media, for all its flaws, has the power to bring people together, to share messages of hope, and to create communities of support. Lady Gaga spoke about how her fans use social media to uplift one another, to share their stories, and to spread kindness. She acknowledged that while the internet can sometimes be a place of negativity, it can also be a powerful tool for good. The Dalai Lama encouraged people to use technology mindfully. He spoke about the importance of using our online presence to uplift others rather than tear them down. He reminded us that behind every screen is a real person, with real feelings, and that we should approach our interactions online with the same compassion we would show in person. Lady Gaga agreed, emphasizing that we all have a responsibility to make the online world a more positive and supportive place, a legacy of compassion. As we reflect on the meeting between Lady Gaga and the Dalai Lama, it's clear that their conversation left a lasting impact. It was more than just a moment in time. It was a spark, an invitation for all of us to examine how we can bring more compassion into our lives. Their words continue to resonate, reminding us that the power to create change lies within each of us. Lady Gaga's willingness to be vulnerable, to share her struggles, and to advocate for mental health has inspired countless people to do the same. Her work with the Born This Way Foundation has created a space for young people to feel seen, heard, and supported. The Dalai Lama's lifelong dedication to peace and compassion serves as a guiding light, showing us that even in the face of great adversity, we can choose love. Their meeting was a beautiful reminder that, no matter who we are or where we come from, we all have the capacity for compassion. We all have the power to make a difference, to uplift those around us, and to contribute to a more understanding and empathetic world. And isn't that what we all want? A world where we feel connected, where we are not afraid to be ourselves, where love and kindness are the guiding principles. Conclusion: the meeting between Lady Gaga and the Dalai Lama in 2016 was an iconic moment that transcended the boundaries of celebrity culture and spiritual leadership. It was a dialogue that brought attention to the critical importance of mental health, the power of compassion, and the necessity of collective efforts to create a kinder and more understanding world. By openly sharing their perspectives, Lady Gaga and the Dalai Lama challenged societal norms regarding mental health and inspired countless individuals to embrace compassion as a pathway to healing and connection. In an increasingly polarized world, the messages shared by Lady Gaga and the Dalai Lama during their meeting remain deeply relevant. Their emphasis on empathy, understanding, and the interconnectedness of all human beings serves as a timeless reminder that, regardless of our differences, we are all in this together. The Dalai Lama's teachings and Lady Gaga's advocacy converge on a simple but profound idea: a more compassionate world begins with each of us, one act, one person, one moment at a time. So, how can we bring more compassion into our own lives? How can we be kinder to ourselves and others? Perhaps the answer lies in the Dalai Lama's gentle smile and Lady Gaga's fierce bravery. A more compassionate world begins with each of us, one small act, one person, one day at a time. After all, isn't that what life is truly about? Finding joy in lifting others up. And allowing ourselves to be lifted too?